Alright, today we've got this Panasonic to do, so we'll go through this, take its measurements, and we'll see how it does on a little bit of cleaning. So, I just added this to my collection because I felt like, I should have at least one Panasonic. I feel they've made, well, it's like I was going to say I feel they've made good contributions to the industry, which maybe they have and I'm just unaware of it, but it's like the most significant thing I can think of was kind of popularizing the bypass machines with the JetFlow series, but it was actually Hoover that started the bypass upright, but I think it was more Panasonic who took it and ran with the idea, made it better by flipping that bag upside down. I always hated the Hoover D bag. I always found the Panasonic U much more efficient. And worth mentioning, but this one has a suction relief valve in it, so we will not see great suction numbers out of this because that will trigger. But I don't know. I like these machines. They're very basic, but they're easy to use. They're they got good build quality to them. Although I will say I'm not a fan of the plastic end caps on the brush roll because I had one of those break on me. Just got brittle after years, and I think the bearing was going out. So between the age and the heat that we were seeing from it, it's no surprise that it ended up breaking. But let's get to the testing. As said, we do have a release valve. Didn't lose much at all. Yeah, still not a huge amount of... Alright, let's see how this thing does at the base. I'm hoping we do decently here, but it's kind of hard to say. I know these machines with the rear wheels mounted to the body of the machine like we have on the Panasonics as well as for cars tend to be a little finicky in the height adjustment department, because as you move the upper body, you'll notice that the contact with the floor changes. So I'm hoping I have this in a good position. It seems to be seated well, so we're just gonna go ahead and take the measurements, and hopefully it's in its best position to get as much out of it as it can. Just so we don't miss out on anything, we'll do this again. Oh. You know, for a 10 amp machine, that's pretty good. I honestly thought this thing was a 12 amp when I picked it up. I guess I didn't look it over too well. But, you know, it's got sufficient power, especially for the amperage. So, let's move on to the pickup. Some of the upper line Panasonics would have had like handle switches and other things. So this is kind of a, it's like a lower, maybe lower mid-range one, from what I can tell. Metal brush roll on it, 2-row. So, definitely wasn't top of the line, but definitely not the worst. Little bit of agitation. So yeah, there we have our Panasonic Performance Plus. You know, they weren't fancy machines by any means, but they did a pretty good job, and it's a shame they stopped producing them. But it is what it is. Thanks for watching.